So this is me explaining feedback on, or what I think on my rotoscope task, and I was actually quite looking forward to this because you had a lot of freedom with it to choose a sport, preferably a sport, and I'm not per se a sports person, but I'm into watching sports. But I did have a go at rotoscoping an American footballer, which went well, but then I found this footage of two ice hockey players fighting, and I thought that would be really good fun to animate to rotoscope, and I did, and this is the final results, and I'll play through it now. So that was it. My first thought is that I really liked it, as usual with me. With animation, I sometimes a lot kind of when animating something, I think that it's not going to turn out brilliantly, but it came out a lot better than I thought it would, and I wish I did a lot longer. I think maybe 10 seconds would have been nice. But with rotoscope, it does take a very, very, very long time to do. But overall, I do like it. There are a couple of issues with lines here, not finishing them. And there's some more somewhere. I think some at the beginning, so a line down here to finish off Clifford's body. I'll explain. Clifford's the guy in the red at the minute, and Mike Brown is the one in the blue at the minute. So I immediately like the idea of every frame changing the colour of each player, so with it flashing through, and even this one, let's move this one, but just changing the colours and having it really nice and bright and colourful and crazy with it. So I experimented with the different colours, and like with this frame that's up here, with a bit, just a bit of green, blue, pink, purple, and just rainbows of colours and stuff, and it does look really effective with it. There are some things that I put in purposely. For example, yes, he did actually have a number 13, and on this frame it's gone, and now it's changed to Kings. So I did have a lot of fun kind of changing what it said on the back of his jersey. So we have Kings and 13, the original one with and stuff like 13 being written as a word instead of as a number, and so on and so forth. And LA, which is the team that Carl Clifford is on, the team that I do support. But it was really good fun to experiment with that and have a go with what I could come up with instead of making it look like a generic, boring rotoscope footage. The other thing was, I know a lot of people don't normally add in the detail. For example, with the lines on the shirts, the boots, some people, when I see them rotoscope, they just draw over it with a line, and it looks like a stick man. And they say it would look like a stick man, but the stick man fighting without rotoscoping it. But again here, line missing. But with the detail, it was a lot of fun, and it did look really good, and was worth the time and effort of going over all that detail, and the end result, it all worked out. All worked out in the end, which I was really happy with. Another thing I really like in this is this bit. So I'll try and play it for you, but you'll see a little bit where I've coloured. Sorry, I've coloured all of it, the whole player in, which did look well and did look really good. I thought it was nice to have a change. I always think about the audience and how to keep the audience watching. It is only 5 seconds, but still got to keep the audience interested in to what you animate. So changes and things to kind of grasp their attention. And the one thing I was actually worried about with this changing colours really quickly was I was quite worried about people who are epileptic, and that it may be a problem for people who are epileptic. So an epileptic warning uh, will be provided or will be there below the video. Another thing which I like about it is when you get there, the little crown, then the crown in there, and at the end you've got winning and stuff like that. Then I wanted to got and you got LA flight in there as well for frame. And I did want to add a lot more of that in there, but I felt that if there's too much, that it could distract from the players. It could distract from the main source of what I want the audience to look at, and that there'll be, things flying around here and here and here and all over the negative space, and just distract the audience. So I didn't want to put any more in it. But there is a nice little bit with the crown. With the crown there, just kind of surprising the audience or getting the audience's attention by changing it. And the changing of the colours like that, and then go back to the other one. And just change it so the audience can still be interested in it. But the main problem with this one, I would say, is the cleanup, is where I've missed it. If I go back one, there's one. His whole leg's missing. Just stuff like that, because it does take a long time to do. And the other thing with rotoscope, you are forced to do it on ones. Because the video footage is 24 frames a second, so you're forced to animate on ones, you can't do it on twos. It does take a hell of a long time to do, which is kind of not a way of, which is why I miss certain lines out, certain outlines, and certain body parts, like here. Again, like I said, lines and that, because it took a very long time, and there was a lot of detail to draw compared to just drawing an outline, around the players. So from quickly animating it and going through the rotoscope with the detail was how I kind of did it. I don't like saying quickly because it sounds like I rushed it, but But well, the other thing is with rotoscoping, you think rotoscope, don't really have to think much about the animation. It's all there for you on a plate. It's going to be, it's going to be easy. But it's not. It takes ages. It takes so long to rotoscope. So it did kind of get very tedious. And people say animation is tedious, or it seems like a tedious job. But this took a lot longer than it would have been for me if it was to probably be not animating the same thing, but ultimately a lot more quicker if I did it animation way instead of rotoscoping and actually animated it. Would have probably took me a lot quicker to do it. But the other thing is also what I am animating, and it's scrap and the fight, and they're not really doing much as well, which was quite not really interesting for the animator to stare at the same thing. And sometimes it was that nothing could really change. And going through it frame by frame, it looked like there wasn't really much difference every frame as you would do in animation. And that's everything really. Can't think of anything else. It's I like it. It's really nice, like I said before, the colours and how it's done. And the other thing is, I was saying about cleanup is that really that it is obviously not really that clean lines, but with it, watching it back, it does have a nice effect. Boiling can be really, really good at times, and this is one of those times where boiling can work. Although, watching it back, you don't see it really that much. I've just noticed you don't see much of the boiling because of the different colours changing. But overall, I'm really happy with it. It came out really well, and I'd like to actually animate something of ice hockey without rotoscoping. Very difficult, I would say, probably. But in the future, I'd like to just make the only project you have a go at animating this as animation, not rotoscope. But yeah, overall liked it, and that's everything I can say.